What's up, beautiful people? This is your girl Blue Nola. I'm back in the building with another video. I hope all is well in your world. I wanted to do a reading on this particular situation that just kind of popped up today. John Doe, one of the first people that accused Diddy of wrongdoing, just did an interview with CNN. And I want to see what's the energy around that person, his story, etc., etc. All right? Before I get started, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and please don't forget to subscribe. And if you've already seen a snippet of his interview, please tell me what you think about it. I'm going to try to play a little bit here, but I don't want to get any copyright strikes. But I will play just a little bit of it. And then I'll read some of the feedback that's in the chat, right? Some of what people are feeling about the interview and what's being said. So this is coming from Hollywood Unlocked. What's up, Hollywood Unlocked? It says, in an eye-raising new interview with CNN, an anonymous John Doe has come forward to share his account of the alleged assault he endured by Sean Diddy Combs. It's the first civil accuser of the hip-hop mogul to publicly speak to the media in an interview. With a deep disguised voice, the accuser detailed traumatic aftermath of the alleged incident, which he said occurred 2 decades ago at one of Combs' infamous white parties. He says the full gravity of it lives with him to this day. It affects my everyday life, every single day for the rest of my life. According to the accuser, he was working as a security guard at an event in 2007, with Combs allegedly providing him with an alcoholic drink laced with GHB, ecstasy, rendering him incapacitated. He says Combs then allegedly forced himself on the accuser in a vehicle, and he claims that he was actually assaulted, right? He said it's amazing the level of, he said he felt powerless. He said he had never experienced this before. To note, the news site pointed out that there were several inconsistencies between the details shared by Doe in his interview with CNN and his original filed complaint that was made on October 14th. His lawsuit states that the alleged incident took place in 2006, while Doe told CNN that it took place in 2007. Wow. So let's go ahead and jump into this particular situation. Does this particular male, John Doe, did he actually work for Diddy at all? Does Diddy know him at all? You have the Five of Wands. Does this person even know Diddy, had access to Diddy? Eight of Cups. Okay. King of Cups. I do feel like he has some type of connection with him. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. With the Knight of Cups. So it does come up like there's an association or an affiliation aspect here. All right. When you see the Ace of Cups, that's like saying there's some type of opportunity, some type of... This could be considered a card of employment, basically. Career or employment. So it does show up as a career employment card for this person. I know Sean Diddy Combs is, what? Is he a Scorpio? This does show up in the messages here. Like, in a, puts King of Cups, Scorpio energy, I guess you would say. So this does show, and then that Eight of Cups is in reverse too, and this Eight of Cups could talk about, again, something where, not too close to him, but so the bottom line is there is there is a feeling that this person was connected in or associated with him in a career work capacity. The person that's telling the story to CNN, right? This person is coming up in Knight of Cups energy in reverse. This represents an artificial swindle, fraud, trickery thing, fantasy. So we're going to see, this is already coming up like there's something about his story that's not ringing true. Yes, he knows him, but there's some conflict. Remember they just said there's already a conflict in what he said, what he filed his claim versus what he's telling CNN. Just small stuff. You got to stick to your story because that could be considered a conflict. Five of Wands is a conflict. Right? This isn't an attempt to get money. He is the Five of Wands, which is an attempt to get money. but I do feel like he was connected and or affiliated with Diddy. So he's just not making up that I know him, I work for him, I was an employee at this. It whether it's between 2006 and 2007, there is something there that's saying that this person in fact worked in some capacity or was connected in some way to Diddy. Now, his story, his complete story about what happened, this may not be ringing 100% true. I would say this: if this is what you got, y'all might want to come stronger than this with some. And I would tell Diddy and anybody that's dealing with anything like this, and I don't care if it's Diddy or Jay Z or, just a person that's just dealing with it in an everyday real life situation, like, not a non celebrity, especially, like if stuff is not ringing to be something that may be true and there's a conflict in what he's saying. I would force them to court. I would force them into a trial. I would force them to stand on what they said, stand on these dates that they're quoting, stand on the incident that they're alleging. I would force them to come out of, you know, come out and stand on what they're saying, because it is showing in the messages. This particular story is coming up with Knight of Cups reverse energy, some artificial, some fraud, some swindle, some fantasy illusion energy. So let's ask specifically, did give me the energy. So I want to play just a snippet of it.
To work security at one of the infamous white parties that was thrown by Sean Combs in the Hamptons. What was that experience like?
At first, he was incredibly friendly, very gracious.
So you had a friendly chat, and then, according to your lawsuit, at some point later in the night, Sean Combs himself offered you a drink. This didn't come from staff or someone holding a tray of drink.
So the question is, Spirit, did Sean Combs go up to this particular man and say, out of the blue, and say, I would like to offer you a beverage, a drink? Give me the energy around that. Was this man offered directly by Sean Combs a drink and or a beverage laced with, he said, GHB, I believe? Definitely shows he was at a party. Emperor in reverse. Okay, so it definitely shows potential celebratory event, party event. Three of Cups is celebratory event, an engagement. Not engagement like getting engaged, but some type of party event, something that you went to. People were having a good time drinking. It doesn't feel very negative in terms of like somebody trying to do him something. The Emperor can suggest that at some point he did see Combs at the party. The Emperor reverse could represent, somebody who could have been, allowing people to, those parties have been known to have like certain incidents and stuff like that. This Emperor could represent a person who was being free and loose and, allowing certain things to happen at the party. I'm going to ask specifically, was this man negatively impacted? But for right now, it's just showing this man was at an event in a celebratory way as an employee. I don't see where, when you look at his cards, I don't see where he was forced to do anything. I can see where Combs, his personality is a wild, brash, fun, excitable. But let's ask if this man was given a drink with a drug in it. Give me the energy around this particular male. Was he given a drink with actual GHB in it? Let's just do 2 cards to be fair. The man, the John Doe. Was he given by Sean Combs a drink with GHB in it? The 6 of Cups is in reverse, right? The 6 of Wands is in reverse. Let's do one more. And then the Queen of Cups is in reverse. Queen of Cups could be like there's something that's not true about that, right? the story. Again, this man has a burden to bear about what happened, but it's not coming up as truthful. This actually is coming up on him as Queen of Cups in reverse to untrustworthy story, right? Page of Pentacles in reverse energy. This is coming up almost like a lack of evidence, a lack of... It almost makes you feel like he didn't even go to the doctor. He didn't go to the clinic. Did he go to the doctor or clinic? Did he report this to the authorities, this man? Nine of Swords in reverse. They're saying he's a shady character. The truth will be revealed if they go to court. And then he did not go to anybody's doctor. He did not report this in any way. So he has a lack of evidence on this situation. He didn't go to anybody's doctor. He didn't report it to any authority at the time. And then even his Nine of Swords in reverse, this represents somebody who's telling a shady story. If he goes to trial, the guy who's in here, if he goes to trial, the truth will be revealed. And then it shows in the Strength card, his story will not... It talks about his story has a lot of doubt, holes in it, etc., etc. This is what it's showing in the messages. It's something about his story that's not adding up. So he didn't... This all happened to him. He didn't go to the hospital. He didn't do a rape kit. He didn't report it to the authorities. He didn't do anything in this situation from what it shows. Was he actually attacked, this man, this John Doe? Was he actually attacked by Diddy? John Doe. Three of Cups. Was he actually attacked? John Doe. Tower moment. John Doe. Was he actually attacked by Diddy? Ten of Swords. When you see his messages again, when you see the Tower card in reverse, a Tower card could represent somebody who felt like they felt like they were in a situation, but there's no sexual contact with these people. Now I want to say sexual contact. There's nothing here. He doesn't show where he was. This could be considered a card of someone being like feeling like they were in a situation. But then when you come down here in this Temperance, this represents it's just giving me gossip, creating a narrative, a story. Like temperance is short-term focus. This is why I was wondering why he was using certain, because usually when people have been in situations where things like this happen to them, they're a little bit more descriptive. Like even when you're listening to him talk, it's just like he's using basic wording. He's not that he has to get into all the gory details, but usually people give like real, like, I was here at this time and then this happened and then he pulled my pants down. And then another thing is that he claims he was out of it, but he can remember all this stuff. The bottom line is there's some holes in his story. And the bottom line is he takes this to court, it will be discovered. And then it shows in his messages he won't be getting any type of settlement. If I were Sean Combs, I would probably force all of these cases to court. Especially the ones that are ring of truth. This particular situation, and this is not for everything that he's been reported for. Once again, we're going to do everything on a case-by-case situation. But this particular situation feels like this wasn't in a forced situation, right? Was this a mutual connection? Let's ask that question. It feels like he knows him. He feels like he worked there. It feels like he was in the vicinity. But was this a mutual thing? Was there something mutually that happened between them? Because I don't see a lot of like he was hurt, forced, or anything. Was there a mutual connection between these two? Seven of Pentacles. Let's flip the cards around. I hate when I do that. Was this guy and Sean Combs in a mutual sexual connection? You know what Diddy needs to do? Diddy just needs to stand in his truth about who he is and what he is. I think that because it's almost like he'd rather sit in jail than just simply say, I'm bisexual. To just simply say, I've had experiences with men. I've had pleasurable moments, whether it was with an employee or with a person I was dating. You know, I've had an experience with someone a time or two. Like, I just feel like Diddy needs to own up to like what he is and who he is, because this is why people are allowed to just say these things and he's not defending it, because he's trying to defend his position that he's not in. He's trying to defend, or he's trying to cover up the fact that he's been in situations with males, right? I think he needs to live in that, because this is what, live in that, because I think that by him hiding it and sitting there, it is easy for people to manipulate that narrative, right, and run with it, versus just saying I'm bisexual and I've had, mutual consensual connections with people, right? This guy still is coming up for me as a no. This story is feeling quite fabricated to me. Page of Swords is basically somebody who knows that there's people want to hear something salacious, and this still is not coming up like a sexual conquest. It does not come up like a RAPE situation either. But if anything, I would err on like if I had to err on anything, it would be a mutual thing. It doesn't feel forged, but this doesn't even feel, this feels fabricated. The story he's telling here today for this particular incident feels fabricated. But I would say for Sean Combs, and the reason why I'm even speaking to like his sexuality is because when you look at some of his messages, just in general, the times that I've dealt for him and the times I think about, like when I think about his situation intuitively, I think he needs to stand in his purpose around what's happening and the connections that he's had, because it'll just be able to, say, okay, well, I am bisexual. I've had experiences with men and women. They are very consensual experiences, whatever that looks like for him, or whatever. We've had, I'm into dominatrix things, things do get, whatever. We're going to do things on a case-by-case basis, but I'm going to just say for this particular situation with John Doe, there's some fabrication here. There's some fabrication here. And if I do feel like if they take it to court, to trial, I feel like there's going to be holes in this person's story, right? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I'm not saying he's innocent of every single situation that he's been accused of, but I'm saying for this particular situation, there's some holes in the story. Don't forget you can book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com. Book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com. Again, this is for this particular situation. There is some falsity going on in this particular story. It just doesn't is in the messages is ringing and as embellished illusion, and then even when you're watching this, listening to this is like he's talking about when he said he was waiting in the wings, and like he's basically talking like he knew what was in his mind to do next. It just gives after the fact fabrication. So People are going and because they're anonymous and they're sitting in the dark and all this stuff, like it's easy to say things and make statements like that, So if I were, anybody in these types of situations, especially if you had a connection like a sexual escapade, stand on it. If it was consensual, stand on it. If this is ringing not true, then stand on it. And if it is true, cop to it. But I think Sean Combs needs to cop to his sexuality. That'll just kind of like be able to say, he's had some sexual dalliances with other people, or he's open. His experiences are open, and he's into, he does participate in certain activities, and but he needs to make clear. But these people, like, if this is one of the first people that they launched their case with, they need to come stronger than that, because this man's got some holes in his story about what happened. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. Take care. Peace and blessing. And again, this is for this particular situation. It's not for every. I'll try to do case by case situations. Just like I did for Cassie. We talked about, we felt Cassie's story was true and he was going to settle. And it was true and he settled. And then we saw a video. This particular one is not ringing 100% true for me. There's some fabrication there. Take care. Stay blessed. Encourage and empower. Don't forget, you can book with me at BlueNolaTarot.com, BlueNolaTarot.com. And again, even if he did say, okay, something happened between them, it feels like it's almost like if somebody can stretch an experience out, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like what he's saying it is. All right, take care. Bye-bye.